Hi everyone, good evening. How are you guys? Hello, hello. Sorry, I was gonna come back on as soon as I got back home, but then kind of wanted to see Justin's update and watch a little bit of his video. So I was in his audience earlier, Justin for all. He is who clutched them perils. He is who released the body camera footage and actually had it. And he's been obviously covering Michael Vaughan's case for quite some time. So I was in his audience earlier, kind of watching and following along. Didn't want to jump back on live while he was live doing that. So, how are you, Sarah Hart? How are you? Good afternoon in the bushes. So we were in the process of watching Brandi Neal confronting Stacy Wondra on panel. And this is a video, it did take place around a month ago, when Stacy was out of prison at that point. He is back in jail on a parole violation at this point. We did watch a video earlier today as well. If you guys missed that live stream, go back and check it out. That was released by Brandi Neal, and she is assured by police that they should be pursuing charges very, very soon. Hello, Ocean Tide. How are you? Sick but okay. You're sick too. Yeah, it's like going around real bad right now. The temperature change just got to me. I'm not necessarily sick, but my voice is like in and out. And so I do apologize in advance that I'm like a little bit crackly. And I'm sure at some point I'll probably have trouble breathing. Just the way that things are happening right now, unfortunately. And so I do want to show you guys a couple few things before we jump back into this interview and kind of finish off. I don't even know if I want to call it an interview. It turns into Stacy just being downright ignorant and Brandy asking questions and trying to get answers. He does rage quit like a little girl at the end of the video. It's an entirely super frustrating situation knowing that this monster was somehow involved in Michael's disappearance and yet denying it to everybody but the police who he admitted it to. So, let me get back. Hi Justice Jane, hi Roberta. Good to see you. So before we jump into anything though, I do want to get once again share the meal train for the family. As a lot of you guys know, Brandy Neal is awaiting a transplant currently. And so some people had asked, how can you be a blessing to this family outside of course, sharing Michael Vaughan's picture, sharing his story, and making sure that people can see his face and realize that he was abducted on July 27th, 2021, and he is still considered missing. They still have no idea where he would be. He was 5 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would be 7 now. He has been missing for 1,728 days. I think I said that right. Or no, did I say too many? Hold on. Hold on. Let me look. 1,278 days. There's my dyslexia kicking in. 1,278 days that Michael Vaughn has been gone. So even while dealing with her son missing and things like that, Brandy has also been dealing with a lot of medical issues on the side. Something that was put together by individuals who are close with Brandy. They did put together this meal train for her just to lighten the load while she's going through these medical difficulties and also trying to continue to carry the torch for Michael Vaughn, making sure that people know that he is missing, making sure that she is doing everything she can as a mom. If you're a local, you can volunteer to drop off a meal. If you're not a local and you want to help out, there is the ability to give gift cards for DoorDash and things like that. And so this link will be pinned in the chat. None of this is going through a YouTuber or anything like that. This is going through directly to Brandy. So you don't have to worry about donations to this. So there is the link. Give me just 1 second. Hi, Minky. How are you? Hi, Kathleen. So that is going to be pinned in the chat, though, throughout this. If anybody is interested in helping, I know that finances are tight for just about everyone. If you cannot help financially, that is perfectly fine. Please do the best thing that you can, which is pray, pray, pray for this family and pray that Michael Vaughan can be found and that some sort of resolution can happen. So let me go ahead and pull up this video now. And I did go back about 3 minutes. That way we can have context as to where we left off earlier and continue listening in. Oh, I didn't share audio. Hold on. And just to answer the question in advance, there will be talking in the background of this video. Sometimes it was like fighting and things like that. It is on his side. He is in a homeless shelter while he is filming this, allegedly.
From doing taxi rides. There's a reason Aero Express got put out of business because of their pricing and how they were out charging people. There's a reason we were the only taxi company in Fruitland, between Fruitland, Ontario. Like, that was our source of income.
That was the only. What happened? Oh, the lube company.
The lube company didn't work out specifically because Arturo Rojas, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Mm-hmm.
You cut out, Stacy. Oh, there you are.
I'm right here. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I got blue.
No, like Arturo Rojas was the owner of the Looks New, the detail building that we were renting a shop bay out of.
I know, but.
And in our contract agreement that we assigned, it said that he would allow us to use the air compressor that was set up in there and the wash bay system to be able to spray off the concrete inside the shop so that we didn't leave oil stains.
Yeah, we know.
And when his daughter had come in there doing an inspection and coming to talk to us, I had the air compressor going and she threw a fit about it. And then it caused a huge conflict with her and her dad. And we just decided that, look, like, we're not going to do this. Like, we had an agreement. It was in the contract that you would allow us to use the air compressor and the stuff in the shop until we were able to get our own air compressor and get it on our feet. And so that's the reason we had moved out of that shop. We've also had a company called Wondra Mechanic and Repair. Mm-hmm. And that was only a temporary thing because I just, I don't want.
You had all of these. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you had all of these businesses that you tried to get to work, right? I want to know more about this plan to setting up fake accounts and pretending to be women.
I can't. Here's the thing. So I can't give you more than what I can tell you right now.
You can't tell me about how Adrian.
No. Like, what I'm telling you is I don't know anything other than Adrian, when he first came in to stay with us, had approached Sarah and said, hey, I'm trying to find a way to make some money. I have an idea that we could create some fake accounts as women and get money from people. And I specifically told Adrian and Sarah, I said, no, you guys shouldn't be doing this shit. That's illegal, number one. And number two, it's not right to take from people.
Okay.
And I specifically told Adrian because he claimed that he got disability or fucking workers' comp out of the state of New York somehow or some way. Because the whole deal was when we agreed to let him stay with us, it was, I'll pay you, I'll pay you $250 a week.
Setting up fake accounts and pretending to be women.
I can't.
$250 a week to live with these guys, like, that's an insane amount. I'm sorry. It just really is, because I mean, that's like $1,000 a month he was going to be paying with them to stay where inside of their house. I really feel like this is him continuously trying to deflect and to put guilt and blame onto Adrian whenever I really do feel like that this was him, Sarah, and Brandon primarily, and Adrian was there, but I don't know how involved, just based off of the fact that he is constantly standing up for him, Sarah, and Brandon, but pointing the finger towards Adrian throughout. It's a big red flag for me. This link, I will be continuously dropping it for anybody who wants to watch the entire video in its whole format. We did start whenever Stacy came on panel this afternoon, but I did have pre-planned things with the kiddos. And so we are picking up here. You can either watch my video from earlier to see when Stacy came up and what he talked about, or the link for the entire video is going to be here in the chat. It was done by the missing PWN. Where did it go? Crimes Revisited. So I wanted to make sure that I got that right. He jumped on her panel, and then Brandi jumped up and confronted him because she was just done with it. Keep in mind, the video that we all watched, the body camera footage, that video Brandi had seen for a year and had been watching him go from panel to panel to panel to panel to panel, lying and lying and lying. And she just had enough and jumped up on panel. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Hi, Seal.
So, and I can't, here's the thing. So I can't give you more than what I can tell you right now.
You
Is
can't
that-
tell me about how Adrian.
No. Like what I'm telling you is I don't know anything other than Adrian, when he first came in to stay with us, had approached Sarah and said, hey, I'm trying to find a way to make some money. Taxi ride. That Sarah had taken the call. And when Adrian had called her, and this is what Sarah told me, that Adrian had called her and said that he was going through a hard time. He was staying in Caldwell behind some fucking some dumpster, or whatever he claimed. And Sarah had asked me, so she goes, so I wanted to talk to you. She goes, I have this taxi customer that had called that, is going through a hard time. He's down and out, she goes, I wanted to talk to you about possibly helping out with a place to stay. And I told Sarah specifically, I said, you know how I feel about this. I said, yes, I don't have a problem helping somebody out. I said, but we have been burned on multiple accounts from helping people out. And I told Sarah that it was not a good idea. I did not feel good about it in my gut. But I told her, I was like, look, I said, you're going to do what you want to do. I'm not trying to argue.
Okay.
So if you bring him here, then bring him here.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
the first date,
let me cut you off right there because I don't want my brain to get muffled right now.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So let's go to that day that Adrian brought up this.
The fake profile?
Yeah. Did Adrian come the same day that Michael was taken?
No. Adrian had come, I think he was at our house for at least 2 months.
2 months before then? When was the time that he brought up the
day he came to stay with us? It was that night.
Because
we were trying to confirm with him. We were basically trying to vet him because he was claiming how he got employment benefits from New York, but then his story didn't match up to me. I just didn't get it. I was like, how do you get employment benefits from another state when you don't even live in that state? It just didn't make sense to me. And then when he approached the question about saying, hey, there's a way we can make money, he had asked Sarah. He didn't ask me. He had asked Sarah, and I was in the room. And he had asked and said, hey, would you be willing to help me if, create some fake profiles and we can make money off of people? And I specifically told Sarah, and I looked at her and I said, no. And I looked at Adrian too, and I said, no. I said, I'm not okay with this. I said, that's not okay to take from people. Or is it okay to create a fake account just so you can bank off of somebody and create, a false prostitution account? I said, I'm not okay with that. And I told them that, and I told them my boundary.
Wow.
And from that point on, I don't know what happened.
So let me
He's just always so innocent. Anytime that a crime was committed, he has no knowledge. It wasn't him. It was everybody else. Not him, though.
clear. So the night that you met Adrian, and he came to live with you guys, he proposed this to you all.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so he continued to stay with you, and this was 2 months prior to Michael being
Your boy's disappearance.
his abductions, correct. So I'm sorry, if I got the chance to speak to you, I'm trying to go off. I have a list of things I want to ask, and I'm trying to.
Brandi, ask anything you want. I'm an open book.
It's okay, Brandi. We totally get it. It's got to be like the hardest thing in the world. Plus, we know that you're sick, and I don't know if you know it or not, Stacy, but I don't know if it's the medicine or her illness or whatever.
I know.
Kind of.
I've been praying for her. I want you to know that.
Let's
She
get back.
loses train of thought. So
Yeah, let's get back on track because once it goes, and it's really hard and it's embarrassing for me because then.
It's okay. And I want
His piece of crap. Really just told her that he's been praying for her? Oh, Brandi, God bless you and your ability to sit here and confront him and not lose it. You are so strong, Mama. You are so strong. Right? Taking money from people isn't okay, but taking a child is. I'm just wow.
I want
I'm
you to know
not
I've been
happy with
praying for
that.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it sounds like to me, Stacy, Adrian is maybe a pretty bad guy, and it sounds like he got
Well,
you guys.
and that's what I told Sarah, because that's exactly what I told Sarah after we went to bed that night. I said, I literally approached her and I said, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm sorry. I said, "Are you serious right now?"
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Did you say I'm fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Were those the exact words? Like I want
well,
to
no,
know.
I literally told her, I was like, "Are you serious? Like, this is like," I said, and I told her, like, I can't remember the exact wording. Okay, like I said, we're talking, almost 3 years. So what I do know is that I did have that conversation with her when we were in the bedroom. I told her, I said, "That's not okay."
Okay.
I said, and I asked her, I said, "Doesn't it throw red flags at you that this dude's trying to sit there and try to hustle money off people?"
So did that cause like an argument? I mean,
Not with me, per
did it
se.
get heated between you and Adrian at all?
It caused tension. I mean, I had set my
Okay.
guard up against Adrian to start after, especially after approaching that question,
I would assume so. Yeah. I mean, that'd
because
be
that's
kind of
not okay
hard.
with me. Like, we're sitting here trying to run a successful taxi business, and we got this guy that we have a heart. I didn't want to have the heart, but I had a heart because Sarah wanted to have the heart, and that's the only reason. I was like, you know what? You're gonna do what you do. If you bring him here, I can't. I didn't want to argue with her. Like, Sarah and I had enough problems. And so I didn't want to cause any more tension between us by raising an argument or a stiff. And I didn't like fighting with her. It
Okay.
got nowhere.
So, of course, since you guys, the four of you, Adrian, Brandon, and Sarah, have been named suspects in the abduction of my son, Michael Joseph Vaughan, um, I have looked into a lot of things. I court documents. What was the domestic violence involved in that Adrian was involved in July of 2021? I believe it was July 24th, 2021. So he would have been living with you at the time.
I have no knowledge of any domestic violence. When we started getting so initially when law enforcement when your boy had gotten abducted, when the police department and the detectives had came and done, like, meeting with everybody, when the detectives got done, like, meeting with everybody in within our household, I believe it was Juanita or Anita or whatever her name is,
Mm-hmm.
that came and told us, that like, you guys know that Adrian's a known human trafficker. And I was like, what? Because here's like, we don't do background checks on the, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't, like, we're Christian people, like, we felt like helping people was what God wanted us to do.
What? I'm sorry. I know that she is very, very deep off of the religious spectrums. I've seen her different TikToks and things like that. You're talking to the mom of the child that you abducted, admitted to police that you abducted him, and did God only knows what to him, and that he was buried in your backyard. And you are talking to his mom right now, and you're saying that you're good Christian people. I am just absolutely freaking mind blown with the audacity of this guy. I cannot, Samantha, I don't know how you even stayed calm even on the sidelines of this. Not to mention Brandy. Thank you so much for the super chat. You did not have to do this. I've been dropping your link throughout. We started watching this afternoon. Anybody who wants to go check out this video, the full live stream, and go check out Samantha's coverage. She has been very deep covering this case for months, and just day after day after day, trying to raise awareness for Michael Vaughn's disappearance. And just amazing, amazing coverage over there. But I'm just absolutely mind blown at the audacity. And then to admit that you had somebody who was allegedly a known trafficker in your home. Again, to the mom of the child that you took.
So what would be the point? Like maybe definitely like in the future if this ever like if we're to help somebody out, yeah, I'm gonna vet everybody. I'm gonna do background checks. But that's like that wasn't even a thought in our head. You know what I mean? And so, give me 1 second.
I just wanted to let you know, Brandi, that Purple did try to come into chat, but since I told Stacy that you were the only one that was going to be up here, and I don't want him to get scared off, that I didn't add her to the chat. So
I appreciate it. Everybody understand that I am speaking to Mr. Wondra on my own free will. I want answers. I want questions answered. I need to know who's lying. I want to know why Stacy's finding
like a horse's ass. Well, because I know what you'll want to do.
hold on 1 second. Stacy, could you try to put your ear things in? Oh, he muted so you could talk, Brandi.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
in California, it was the domestic charges, excuse me, for Adrian, or not charges, the June 24th, 2020, July 24th, excuse me, 2021, it was in California. So if he was living with you in July, here in Idaho, how was he involved in the domestic dispute in California 3 days prior to Michael's abduction?
That's a great question because I never knew anything about him having any domestics or any open cases in any other state. Again, we never did background checks.
Well, no. I'm seeing you. I'm saying to you right now. You see how this sounds like a lie because you're saying Adrian lived with you 2 months prior to Michael's abduction.
Yeah, I believe he came in April or May or something like that. It was one of those months. So, and that raises the question too because he was with us.
So he was with you in Idaho, but got charged in California.
Maybe it was a sentence. Maybe it was a court appear like a video arraignment or a video sentencing because a lot of times they do that. I don't know. Like I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, that's just one of the things that popped up. It's been kind of stuck in the back of my head. Tell me more about the scam that Adrian was trying to run. Isn't that a scam used for human trafficking?
I don't.
Hello to everyone coming in. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Texas Angel, for going over and subscribing. This is a video that was done a month ago. Stacy Wondra had jumped up onto panel with Samantha during one of her live streams, and Brandi, after months and months of listening to this man run his mouth all over the YouTube streets, jumped up on panel and was confronting him and trying to get answers directly from him to see if she could put this timeline together, to see if she could figure things out, and just really searching. She really desperately wants justice for her child, justice for Michael, and to know where he is. And so please, 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 you guys, if you do nothing else, continue to share his flyer and to share the information. I posted it on my feeds the other day. I can post it again just to make sure that everybody has access to his flyer and to these suspects, because who knows who has been talked to these individuals and may have additional information that these losers are never going to give us. I don't know if we will ever know the full truth, but I pray to God that they can locate where Michael is, despite the fact that these guys just keep playing these games and running this family in circles over and over again.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything other than that he had approached it that night, and I shut it down. So whether he was doing it after, like behind my back, and if Sarah knew something about it, then that's like between them. I cannot speak on that.
Okay, so you know Sarah met any of those men?
No, and like I would have been like I shut that down when she had approached that initially.
Do you know when did he show up in Idaho? The date of the incident. I'm trying to remember. Thank you for meeting, Stacy. Do you remember how much Adrian said you could make? Did he propose? Did he tell you how much? I'm sorry, was that it was 275 or was there more?
No, so Adrian said that his only source of income was from the New York Department of Labor or whatever it is, from his unemployment benefits. And I never really questioned it too much, because I was like, all right, well, you say you claim that you have this money, or you coming in, okay, that's fine. We couldn't exactly sign him on the lease because it wasn't our house. That would be considered subleasing, which we would have gone through Sarah's parents. So we were kind of like, we did talk to Sarah's parents, and let them know, hey, we're helping this person out. He's paying us some money, and then we're like, okay, but we couldn't legally put him on the lease because it wasn't. It would have breached our lease, if you know what I mean. And so that's why when we'd helped him, it was okay. You say you can pay $275 a month. That's fine. Pay us.
Okay.
But we had no way to vet that or verify that it was actually his income that was coming through.
So maybe you were mistaken about the time that Adrian came. Was he really there for 2 months before, or did he leave and then come back? Did he?
So Adrian had periodically, he would, one of the stipulations that Sarah, it wasn't so much me, but I sided with Sarah, was that Sarah set the boundary of him not having any females come to the house, because all he wanted to do was get his, he wanted to get some. And so we set that stipulation, look, we don't want you having another female, come and stay with you or whatever, or be in our house, and having to listen to you, whatever. And so he was like, that's fine. So Adrian had frequently, periodically, he would go. I remember he was having, he was seeing this one chick, I don't know what her name was verbatim, but she had drove a gold Cadillac. And she was this preppy girl, super young. I don't know, I think she had red hair or something, but just preppy, had everything given to her, handed out to her, and it threw red flags, but he was always constantly, he was always either going to Caldwell or Nampa or Boise, but every time he went, it was he claimed to go see a female, and sometimes it was the same female on different occasions, but he was most of the time he wasn't home during the day. He was always out trying to get with someone.
Mistaken going from to Boise or Nampa from Fruitland is quite a difference to go to California and come back. See where that.
No, and I do, and like I said, if I knew something about him having domestic violence charges, that would have threw a red flag for me.
It would have threw a red flag for you if he had domestic violence charges, but not that he was an alleged trafficker, and not that he wanted you to run a trafficking-like scam for people. But the domestic violence, that was going to be the red flags. What? Did I hear the good news about the pending, hopefully charges coming? Is that what you're talking about? If there is more, by all means, please share it, because I hope to God you're going to tell me that there was already an arrest or something made again. But I did see Brandi's video. We watched that this afternoon. We had to kind of break this up into 2 lives because I had stuff going on with my kids, but I don't, yeah, twisted thinking. Absolutely twisted thinking. Yeah, we did watch the video from Brandi. We'll watch it again later. But she did come out and tell us that she spoke with the Fruitland police and let us know that there will be charges coming. And she was able to see the files and see the casework and see that they will be charged. It's just a matter of when. Who knows? Her even coming out and saying that video, maybe they're out there issuing arrest warrants this weekend. We've seen that before. Monday morning, they might be behind bars, and that would be so amazing.
It would have been okay, well, why do you have domestic violence charges? What did you do? Who did you hit? Who did you abuse? Who tried to file charges against you? That would have been a red flag for me.
Okay, so I've heard your statements about Brandon and Sarah being.
You can say it, Brandi.
Being intimate. Did Adrian and Sarah have a sexual relationship?
So I can't confirm like me seeing it. I heard that from L.E. or Detective Keller or whatever Kellum or whatever her name is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I learned that. That's also how I learned that she quote unquote said that he was a human trafficker, which I didn't learn that until after, when they were doing the search and stuff like that. So that really like messed with me, mentally, because I'm like, who the hell is this dude, and why is he even in our house?
But well, how did he get there? Because
Because Sarah had brought him. And that's what I told you. So when Sarah had called me and said, I have this taxi customer, he's going through a rough time, like, what do you think about helping him out? And then that's when I told her, I said, you know how I feel about this. We've already been burned time and time again. I
okay.
said, you're opening up the door to be burned again.
Why
And then
did
it
you go to
really set it
Montana
off.
in July?
Say it again.
Why did you go to Montana in July of 2021?
Who?
You and Sarah? Why did you go to Montana? You were in Montana in July 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, no, I had gone to go see my mom and dad.
Oh, okay.
They lived at the time in Belgrade, Montana.
Oh,
And I had actually just was able, like, because my dad had been very guarded, because I had hurt him like emotionally pretty bad, and so he had finally like let his guard down enough to allow me to come to the house and see them. And it had already been 2 or 3 years since I had seen them, and so Sarah and I took a trip up there, and that was actually at the same time that my grandma and I took. We had gone to the GMC dealership in Bozeman because I had to go get a key remade for the Blazer that my grandfather had left me before he passed away in 2019.
Hey, thank you so much, Missing PWN. Samantha, thank you so much. I hope that you have a great rest of your night with your grandson. And thank you for all of the work that you've done on Michael Vaughn's case throughout all of this time. Absolutely keep them in your prayers, everybody. And if you guys are not following, I did just share the link just a second ago. Go over and subscribe to her channel. She has been really hitting this and other cases, not just Michael Vaughn's, but in all of these cases, she has done phenomenal coverage, just making sure she's putting out constant awareness. And so, thank you for getting honestly him on your panel and getting this information out there. I think that stuff like this, catching him in his lies, the constant web of lies that he weaves over and over again. Every single interview has been different. Every single interview has been just complete and total trash, honestly, compared to what he told police, compared to what he told Crime Lines and Lies, compared to what he told Hidden True Crime, compared to what he told Chris McDonough, compared to he just tells every single person that he speaks with what he thinks they want to hear, pretty much. Nothing is consistent and nothing is the truth. It's very frustrating.
How long were you in Montana?
We were only there for a couple of days. I think maybe a day or two, and then we had come back because again we had to get back to our taxi, so we didn't have much time to really do anything other than, like I said, it was just to go spend some time and catch up with my family.
So Brandon and Adrian were living with you at that time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know a Steve Moylan by chance?
I've never heard that name. That's what's no, and that's what's like when Samantha was bringing up like that name or what that female name, Country or whoever it was or Cuz, I was like, who the hell is that? I don't know anybody that's blonde.
Cuz or whatever. She says she's known you and Sarah for years. From when I saw the clip of her coming up.
I'd like to put a face to the picture because I don't know anybody by the name Cuz, and I'd like to know what her real name is. Then maybe I can put that to a picture, but I don't know anybody that has blonde hair. And I also know that there's a lot of people that come up and say that they
Who lives in Portland?
Who lives in Portland?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sarah's got Sarah did prison time in Coffee Creek, Oregon prison. So she calls her Mima, who is Kimberly Wright, and she lives in Tigard, Oregon, which is right out. It's like 45 minutes from outside of Portland. I think it's 15 or 45 minutes from Portland. And then she also has a friend that she's had for years since like before Sarah went to prison named Sarah Gant. And that's all that's as far as I know, that's the only people that she's close to in Portland. She does have like her foster family that lives in Coos Bay, and all around the coast area.
Hmm.
But that's all I know. Like I don't like, and if I don't, like I said, I don't know who any of these people are. Like I know Sarah, you know, I mean, the people I told you in Portland and Coos Bay, but other than that, I don't know any other association that Sarah has or family. I've only met a few people of her family on that her adoptive side of the family.
Hmm.
So she was just reading the chat for what you guys are talking about. The charges that Sarah is in jail for currently have nothing to do with Michael Vaughan, as Bush has said. Something to do with a gun. She had had a gun. She had threatened somebody with a gun or something along those lines, and then she took her gun and she took it to her parents' house essentially to hide that weapon because she knew that she was not supposed to have a weapon. And so that's why she is currently in jail. But aggravated assault and destruction of evidence. Um, so that's where it was. Now she was found not competent to stand trial for quite some time. They did eventually, as many of you guys know, she had been in there on charges that had to do with Michael's disappearance, failure to report a dead body. Um, but they did inevitably drop those charges. And so we are still currently waiting for Fruitland to bring charges against Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, and Adrian, and to let us know exactly what they think happened to Michael Vaughn and put these charges out there. And the fact that Brandy Neal was shown the paperwork this week and was given the information. Yesterday, she put out a video letting us know that she's seen the files, she's seen the indictments and that they are coming. The fact that the police were willing to share that with her tells me that this will be happening soon. And it can't happen soon enough, honestly, to get these monsters off the street because they're just out there. I mean, who knows where in the world Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian are. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Seems like Sarah knows a lot of people. Did so you never heard them in the house when Adrian was left in the house?
No, there's literally Adrian had came and told us, oh, because we asked him if he wanted to come with us, and he said, no, I'm good, I'm tired, I'm just gonna stay home. I said, all right, that's fine. But we don't leave, like I said, keep in mind, we don't leave any, like, our vehicles, all of our keys came with us every time. Like, we don't leave our keys in the house, they're always on our key rings. And so, he didn't have access to any of our vehicles. And I also know that when we came home, he had actually, came out of the room, and he was, like, super groggy, like he just got done sleeping. And
Did
so,
he ever drive any of the taxis for you guys?
no, we wouldn't let him. We wouldn't let him because he didn't have a valid license. That was something we were very, very strict on as far as like we didn't have anybody drive cab for us. It was me, Brandon, Sarah, and Carson occasionally that did taxi rides for us, and that was the extent.
Who's Carson? For and others. Who's Carson? Stacy. I just who else is involved? So you're putting Adrian was not with you in the vehicle whenever you guys abducted Michael. That's all I keep hearing. But you're using that as a he had to have done this without us knowing because he was left at the home. But meanwhile, let's not forget what police released in this press conference. Oh, oh, who's that? We know it's not your big butt, but it sure does look like Brandon. We have heard that he has admitted to people that this was him. What were you doing at the splash pad that day, Stacy? You guys were out lurking, looking for a child to be unattended and left alone, in my opinion, that day. And there he was, walking the neighborhood, just looking for an opportune chance to take a child. I think you guys set out that day with the intentions of abducting a child. And Michael Vaughn was your victim. You keep trying to sit here and pretend like it's not you. You had nothing to do with it. Wasn't me. Must have been Adrian. I'm sorry, but really makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. Yeah, the police, they've never stopped looking. They've never stopped investigating. I think that a lot of us just get frustrated whenever it seems like so much time passes. I mean, we are in 2025, you guys. He has been missing for 1,278 days, and I'm sure it feels every bit as long, if not a million times longer for this family. And so I'm sure that they're in situations where they're just like, "Okay, did you guys forget about him? Like, where is he? Are they ever going to be held responsible? Are they ever gonna be accountable?" I'm sure that all of those thoughts and frustrations, but here's this mama keeping hope alive that she will keep her promise to Michael and she will find out where he is.
End of it. We wouldn't let other people drive because number one, we weren't as an LLC and like federally like regulated with like EIN numbers and stuff like that. The way we had to report our taxes, we weren't able to hire anybody because we weren't a multi-member LLC. We were only single members.
Did you guys go to Portland after Michael was abducted?
Say it again.
Did you go to Portland after Michael was abducted?
No,
You didn't go?
I haven't gone. No, and I know Sarah hadn't gone. We hadn't gone. We hadn't been to Portland since I think like 2020. I think is the last time we had gone through that way, and that was after because so I got out of prison on May 4th of 2020 out of Sheridan, Oregon, and Sarah had driven down to go stay with Mima or Kimberly Wright in Tigard, Oregon, and then she came and picked me up on May 4th. But then I know Sarah said that she wanted to go visit her family in outside of Portland. Sorry, Coos Bay.
Did you go to somebody's house outside Portland to help move their stuff from one piece of property to another?
No,
After Michael disappeared?
no, we've never even been down that way. And we don't know anybody, like I said, other than Mima. I mean, I haven't met anybody else, but other than Mima and Sarah Gant and her foster family in Coos Bay, Oregon. But that's literally the extent of the people that I've met on her side of the family. But her, like, we've had no other reason to go to Portland. Like we don't really travel that way. The furthest that we've gone, and I think, it was to Pendleton, Oregon, to go to the Wild Horse Resort and Casino.
But not Marissa's house?
Marissa Z? Marissa Z?
Yeah.
Marissa doesn't live in Portland. She lives in Christmas Valley. And I didn't meet Marissa until after Sarah had gotten arrested.
Oh, well, did you go to Portland in the truck the second week of August?
No, no. Hey, what are you doing? Start grabbing my shit, bro. I'm on the video. Sorry.
Thank you.
No, Marissa lived in Christmas Valley, Oregon. I didn't meet Marissa until 2022, and it was right after Sarah had gotten arrested on April 4th or April 13th of 2022.
I know I'm talking about 2021.
Yeah, so we had gone correct. We had driven so we went to Grants Pass, Oregon to go take a puppy, and the lady's name is Amy Church, and specifically I can show you my contact if you guys would like to see it because it's specifically listed in my contact.
Mm-hmm. Calm down, take a breath. I'm not getting angry. I'm just asking questions of statements that you put online.
Is there a way I can upload a photo in the chat to you guys or somehow?
You
can send it to Sam or I don't know if you still talk to Eve. She can post it publicly if she wants, or you can even do it.
I don't know how to do it.
You can send
Can I
it to
post an
my
ad through the chat?
So you didn't. Where does the So you took the dog the second week in August?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't take a trailer with the truck to a homeless man?
Hold on, hold on. No, you're fine. Hold on. I'm trying.
She knows so much. Like, Brandi is so on top of this. She has so many questions. She's been watching all of the interviews, taking notes, and she was so ready for this.
Trying to close out of this.
I put my email address if you have anything you want to send, Stacy.
Thank you, Sam. I'm sorry. I didn't. What better time? I mean, I need answers, and I'm.
You, my love, have.
Thank you all for being here.
Apologize. You do not need to apologize for anything at all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, and everybody that's here. Please continue to share Michael. Share his story, share his picture. Sarah and Stacy Wondra are still named suspects. Stacy, you are a named suspect in the abduction of Michael Joseph Vaughan, my son. And I'm here to get answers. And I need them, and I want them. And I'm not going to give up.
We lost Stacy.
Sarah Hart, I don't know how in the world she does it.
For them.
I thought they went to Texas about the dog.
They were 2 trips about a dog. They went down to Texas to get a dog to bring back to Idaho, as far as the stories go, and they went and did a dog thing over in Oregon. But I haven't heard those things spoken about in quite a long time, the one over in Portland. Everybody just always talks about the one down in Texas. And that happened right around the same time that Brandon's grandfather passed away.
I really, really want to know about the trip to Oregon, the trip to Portland. Very, very curious about that. If there's
here's Stacy. He's back, so you can ask him more about it.
I'm so sorry. I accidentally X'd out of the video on accident.
Don't put
He is Daddy's baby girl. He's like,
okay. So no. So we did. So we went. When Amy was only wanting to pay us $200 to go to Grants Pass, and so to deliver the dog. And so I told Sarah, I was like, well, why don't I look on Craigslist and try to find somebody who needs to go ahead, like under ride shares, who's trying to go that way. And there was an ad on Craigslist. I don't forget what this guy's name was, but he had a trailer that needed to be towed because he was trying to get back to his house in, I want to say Vancouver. And so we had dropped him off with his trailer in Vancouver, and then drove straight to Grants Pass and dropped off the black lab, the puppy that we had dropped off, and then we headed straight back to Boise or to Fruitland.
So you went from
Fruitland to Vancouver. Or sorry, Fruitland to outside Kuna, I believe is where this guy lived. I think it was like, I want to say it was like Eagle Street or something like that. I don't remember exactly verbatim. Where'd you go?
She fell off for a second.
So,
can somebody please add the link? It is up at the top. I don't know if the link at the top is working, but can somebody post it down at the bottom?
No, so, yeah, so we had gone from Fruitland to go pick up this guy. I think it was around the Kuna area, if I remember right. And we picked up this guy and his trailer, and then we headed back towards, that's when our trip started. And we went straight from there to, we made our stop to Vancouver, dropped him and his trailer off at his house, and then we went straight from there to Grants Pass and dropped off the puppy, and then came back to Fruitland.
Didn't you guys all?
I think it's probably Adrian, Daddy's baby girl. Allegedly, they went to Midland, Odessa, Texas to get a dog from a groomer. Can't remember. Yeah. I think it's what she's trying to get to the bottom of, because he said Boise multiple times. Like, that's quite a distance from where he was supposed to have been. I think he is having difficulty trying to remember what he said. And now he's like stumbling over everything. Yeah, exactly. He's told so many stories. Who knows what's true? He's just trying to find some type of, I don't know.
Change phones during that time?
We didn't change phones. We changed phone carrier. So we had AT&T, and then we went and set up a business account with Verizon.
Got it. Who has the recording studio?
Recording studio?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, a recording studio? Nobody's had a recording studio.
In Oregon, you guys know someone that has a recording studio?
No. Adrian said that he had made YouTube videos in the past, but it wasn't. He never claimed that he had a studio. I don't know anybody that has a music studio or a recording studio at all.
Okay. I'm just kind of baffled on all of these places, that you say you were, and the times have changed.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So, is this like, are these questions that you're asking, Brandi, are they coming from you directly, or are they coming from like law enforcement asking you to ask them?
These ones are questions that I've
That you have come up with?
that I've
No,
come
and
up with.
that's fine. I was just curious. I just, you know what I mean?
He's curious because she is asking about things, in my opinion, that is all around what happened, and he's wondering, crap, how much do they know? What has she picked up on already? What does law enforcement know? Am I going to get tripped up if I answer this a certain way? I guarantee you, like, that's why he wants to know, is this from law enforcement or not? Me too. Aries, I am hoping and praying that this is the year. This is the year that we will find out where Summer Wells is, where Michael Vaughan is, where Sebastian is, where Ariel Sellers is, where everybody, all of them, all of these missing kids. I mean, I can't even name them all. There's so many cases, guys. Jennifer Kessie, Dior, right? He's on YouTube. They're just gonna watch it. Even if it wasn't from law enforcement, they're watching your interview, sir.
What were your questions on your
Polygraph?
Yeah.
So the questions they literally asked me, there's 5 questions. They asked me, is the door shut? Is the light on in the room? What number did I write down on the wall? Not me, but these are literally verbatim what he asked me. What number did I write down on the wall? And the last 2 were, do you have any knowledge or any information or any involvement in Michael's disappearance? And I said no. And then he asked, if you knew of any involvement or had any information or knew something of his involvement, would you report it? And I said yes. And that's literally the 5 questions they asked me. And then when I completed the polygraph, he said, give me a minute, I'll be right back. And he came back and he goes, how do you feel you did? And I said, I told the truth. And he goes, you're right, you did.
I hardly doubt that that's how that went. I hardly doubt it. And the reason for that is they're not going to ask you a compound question during a lie detector test. They're not going to ask you something that has multiple phrases like that. So maybe if it was phrased different, I might buy that. But even if you passed a lie detector test, that just means that you believe what you said. That's it. And if you tell yourself the same thing over and over again, of course you're going to believe it. But nobody else believes you, Stacy. No one.
Huh. Those were
The 5 questions that he asked me, he only asked me 5 questions, and what questions I told you is what he asked me.
Would you take another?
Of course, I'd take another one. I'd take another one in a heartbeat.
Okay.
This is the thing. Like, I'm like,
I heard that Sarah had said something about God taking Michael to.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I was trying to tell you. So all of this, like you question, like, why is she saying that you did it? But that's why I made the point of, why would she go in court and say, oh, Stacy told me this, and then or she claimed that she was Stacy here? Why would she? Excuse me. Why would she say that? Oh, the Most Highest God told me that this happened. Oh, God told me that Stacy did it, or you know what I mean? Like, her story was like, she was going through a very like messed up situation mentally and emotionally. It's not easy being labeled something that you didn't do. And like, I'm like,
It was my husband.
I don't know anything about your husband. Okay, and I'm sorry if he's going through the shit too, the stuff too. And it's not fair and it's not right. But Brandi, I have no reason to lie to you.
Somebody needs to tell the truth.
No, exactly. 100%. But I need you to know one thing, Brandi, is that I don't have a reason or like a want to lie about something like this to you. I want Michael to come home just as much as everybody else in this world. He doesn't deserve to be separated from his family, or he didn't deserve to be taken from his family. And I'm going to be straight up with you. If I ever find out who did it, and I encounter this person somehow or some way in the world, they're not going to have a very good time, and I can promise you that. This is not like a threat, but it's facts and it's reality. As a matter of fact, I beat the crap out of a sex offender in prison. Just recently, in the last couple months, back in July. I beat the frick out of this dude. He sat there.
Because you're like some hero like some virtuous hero now. You're going to beat up the offenders and you're going to beat up whoever took Michael. You sound like Letitia Stalk right now. Next thing you know, he's going to be demanding an apology for everybody who wrongfully accused him.
I saw that. I saw it.
Like I don't play with this stuff. Like I don't think you realize, Brandi. Like
What?
I'm a very good person at heart, and I would never allow myself to have involvement, or let alone be known or made known that somebody had involvement without me dealing with it myself and taking it to law enforcement after I beat the fuck out of the person. Like I'm not okay with it at all. And I'm sorry.
Did you tell anybody in Ada County?
Ada County, no. But what I've learned is that people in Ada County are sitting there 20%. Are in the jail, are trying to give false, quote, I don't know, that's what I've been told, but they're trying to give something, like telling out law enforcement that I told them where this little boy was. And I never would ever talk about my stuff, especially to people in jail. It's none of their business, number one. Yeah, I've been blasted all over the media, so I don't really have to explain myself, other than I didn't do it.
Keep in mind, while she is sitting here with him on this panel, she has already seen the video of him confessing to police. Brandi's seen that. We just now seen that. She already watched him lead them to different areas in the yard. She already watched him talking to Chris McDonough. She's seen all of that already and is sitting here just holding in all of her frustration and anger and I don't know how she's not trying to leap through the phone and cause physical harm to him right now. I am just mind blown at the audacity of this. Ugh, I just to just sit here and just. I guarantee you that's why she turned on the camera, because you're gonna look me in the eye while you tell me you had nothing to do with my son. You're gonna look me in the eye and see me while you're sitting here saying over and over again how you would be his defender and you would be his hero and you're going to beat up somebody. I can't. God bless you, Brandi, because I don't know how you did this. I really don't.
I wish I could give you more answers, Brandi. I wish I could give you and tell you who the person is that did this. I wish you didn't have to suffer. This is not fair.
No, it's not. Why did Sarah's behavior change so drastically after Michael was abducted? The TikToks, you're her husband. You talk to her every day, Stacy, don't you?
Say it again?
You talk to her every day.
Yeah, but I also know that Sarah was very conceited and she hid a lot of stuff. Just like the gun that she held Tanner at gunpoint with had no knowledge about her having a gun. The gun that she had, she ended up selling it to Carson. So it made absolutely no sense.
Stacy, would you help me get Michael home? No,
okay, say it again.
Will you help me get Michael home? Please.
I can do everything I can. I can help try to find him, Brandi. I don't know where even to start. I want to give you answers, Brandi. I want to tell you who the fuck did this. And if I could, I would. But I don't have anything to give you, and I am tore up for you. I want your boy to come home, Brandi.
Then tell the truth, please.
I don't have any tell the truth to give you. I've told everything I can, Brandi. You don't understand. Yes, I understand that's your boy. I know, Brandi. And if I had an answer to give you, if I had an answer to bring, no, I don't, Brandi.
You would help me.
Brandi, I would turn the person in a heartbeat. You don't understand, Brandi. I'm not the person that did this.
Please,
I don't know how
you-
much more
you
clear I can be.
Hero, Stacy, please.
Brandi, I want to be your hero and bring him home, but I don't have anything.
I
or
don't
way
want
to
you to
bring
be
him.
my hero. I want you to be Michael's hero.
I know, and I want to be his hero too, but I can't without having something to give them, Brandi. I'm trying to explain this to you. What do I tell them?
Tell them
What do I
about
just?
Sarah. Tell them about Brandon, please.
I told them everything. That's what you don't.
Them.
Brandi, I'm not protecting them, Brandi.
You are.
What am I? Because I'm pretty sure I've just told the truth every freaking time that I've done a statement, Brandi.
Then
I
why
don't know
is
what you.
law enforcement saying you're suspect? Why is there evidence that Michael was at your house? Why did you say he was buried in that backyard? Why did you lie? Why did you tell them that? I had to sit here and listen to those trucks every day. You seen him that night?
Brandi,
You seen him that night? Tell me about the kid. Tell me about the kid on the road. Was it him?
that was not him. No, it was not him.
How come you changed ages? Sex? Color of hair?
What?
All of your statements. How come that little boy? Were you okay? You said you pulled off out of the neighborhood up here on 8th. There are no houses here. You cannot see down 6 houses.
How can you tell me I can't see 6 houses? That was not your son, Brandi. What do you want me to say?
You changed your story continuously, and then you
No, I
said,
haven't.
Yes, you
I
have.
have specified in every one of my podcasts that I've done that my information may not be 100% clear as it has been almost 3.5 years. Would you remember something 3.5 years verbatim,
Yes.
detail? Would you? Because I guarantee you wouldn't. Nobody can remember something identical.
The only way that you wouldn't remember exactly what you did with him is if you had done something like this to other children as well. I'm sorry, but I guarantee you that the monsters who did something to this child remember every single moment. I guarantee it. I don't know how she held her composure. We've been watching this for over an hour. I mean, she held her composure so long. Yeah, heartbreaks for her. Absolutely. Prayers, guys, for Monkey, for his family. Just load up the chat with love and prayers for Michael and his family, for his mom. I know. I know. It's so infuriating. She already had seen the video that we just recently seen. She already knew. And he's just sitting there lying over and over and over again. And then to the people who continuously try to paint this as if it was Tyler and Brandi, I hope you watched this and seen her real, true, raw emotions. Her confronting the man who is a known suspect in her child's disappearance. Take a look at that.
Pointing me to it.
Hold up 1 second. We need to give Brandi a second to calm down and
Please,
breathe for a minute.
tell me, what was the boy doing that you saw on the road that night?
It wasn't your boy, Brandi. And he was
Tell me about the boy.
outside of some house playing down the road
Which
on the
house?
right-hand side. I don't know what house. I don't know exactly what house. I don't have an address to give you, other than it was literally probably like 4 or 5 houses on the right-hand side of the road. And it was not
Let's
Michael.
not yell, Stacy. Let's not yell, Stacy.
You would have had to
She
drive
is
by
very
the
sick.
house by the kid, right?
Correct.
Can you-
But by the time I had filled up the power steering and we had taken off, he had already gone back inside with his family.
How do you
I
know
had
it was
watched
Joe's
his,
house?
because I don't know that it was family's house. All I know is I watched somebody come out of the side of their house and told them that it was time to come inside. And that's all I know. What else do you want me to give you? It wasn't your boy. You want to make up something?
So you saw a little boy. You pulled off the side of the road on 8th. Was it on
No.
directly outside of?
Clarify. I did not see the little boy until after I had gotten out of the truck and opened the hood, and I heard noise coming from the background of somebody playing in the yard of the house. Just to get that straight. We didn't pull off because we saw somebody playing in the front yard. To clarify.
Okay, let me calm down here. So you pulled out of Hidden Meadows subdivision, correct? Took a left.
Carry on.
Okay. The next road to turn is
The next right turn
on
was
Arizona.
Arizona Street.
Correct. So
We
from where
pulled
you
off
left,
before that.
okay, in between, because that's all field right there on the right-hand side. That's nothing.
And there's also a pull-off spot.
Right there, right before the sign on 8th, or excuse
Correct.
me, Arizona, on Arizona. So
Correct.
where was the little boy? Because you would have had to pull off right there in front of Arizona and 8th, right
Correct.
there, where the pull-off is. I've stood there and I've looked down the road. Which house looking down the road? I know you said 5 or 6 houses down the road. You said this child was playing in the yard. Was he standing? Was he sitting?
He was standing in the yard. How else would I notice somebody who was making? He was like having a good time. He was just being himself. I don't know. He was being like every fucking other kid that wants to have fun in their life. Like, I don't know. Like I don't. It was not Michael. Trust me, I'm very familiar with faces, Brandi. And Michael's face was not that boy.
But I know all my neighbors, and there's no children. There are no kids there.
Right here. They came out of this subdivision, and he's saying that he pulled over. He's saying that he pulled over right here, and that he's seen a child playing, and it would have been right around here. There's no other kids. So if there's no other kids, then who could you have possibly seen? Yeah, he is. He's just being a smart butt. Condescending narcissist. Yep. Yep. They know it was you. You admitted at the beginning of this interview that they had you guys on camera at the splash pad, that they had you guys on camera in the area. They know it was you. They know it was Brandon. Who are you trying to kid? This mom is pleading with you, and you're just sitting there, and the audacity to yell and scream. I don't understand. I don't understand how people can be so cold. Only monsters, guys. Only monsters can do crap like this and just sit there and have no emotion. The complete lack of empathy for everything that this family is going through. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Well, there was a kid there, and it wasn't Michael. So I don't know what else to tell you, other than what I saw and what I heard and what I know, that somebody came in the house and told them that it was time to come inside. I don't know if these people had friends that had kids or if somebody was babysitting. I don't know.
You saw that person tell that kid to go inside?
I heard the person tell them to come inside.
So you were close enough to hear, but couldn't see. Which house? Or do you remember which house? I know it's been 1,240 days, 3.5 years of pure hell and nightmares. People claiming they know where my son is, and won't tell me. So,
If I knew your boy was, I would have already told them that at the beginning of everything.
Just please beware. Just watch your tone a little bit, Stacy. Please watch your tone.
I'm just curious, which house was it that you saw this little?
It was a beige house. I don't know exactly the number. It was a beige house.
And it's on that right side right there on 8th.
Correct.
Between Arizona and Washington.
Correct.
I know all of those neighbors.
Okay. And I'm sorry that you, okay, and maybe you ever think maybe they were babysitting or maybe,
I know they're
they had a friend over? I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? I don't have anything to give you, Brandi. I have told every fucking thing. You're trying to get something, like, get me to say I have information. I don't have anything.
Do you believe that
You could have
Sarah
just,
and Adrian and Brandon were involved?
no, not at all.
Nothing to do with it. If you
No.
don't,
Brandon, me and Sarah were all gone that night, Brandi. We were in Cuna towing Brandon's vehicle back to Fruitland because I was going to help him repair his spark plugs that he had blew out of the hole because he's a dumb person and doesn't know how to drive.
Couldn't have been me, Sarah, or Brandon. Brandi had to have been Adrian. He was the only one who was home. He constantly is trying to stick up for him and Sarah. and Brandon.
And thinks that high revving a vehicle is the coolest thing ever. Brandi,
Stacey,
I will give anything I can for him to come home. I don't have anything. There's nothing I have that I can give to law enforcement. Everything that I have told him is I've told. I don't have anything further. I don't know what else you want me to give. I can't just magically pull it out of my butt, Brandi. Like,
She's looking for her son. She's frustrated, Stacy.
I know. I want him to come home
You said
too.
that you would let her ask questions and that you would speak calmly, so just do so. Let her talk if she needs to talk.
No, and that's
Please
fine. That's
Try
fine.
not to talk over her. And
Like, I need you to know, Brandi. Like, I have had nothing to do with him. I will put that on my life.
okay.
I am
so
okay at this point.
right now.
If somebody held me at gunpoint right now, specifically law enforcement, and told me to give them answers, they'd have to shoot me because I wouldn't have anything to give them, Brandi.
Oh, I would love to waterboard this guy. Like, cases like this, it needs to be legal. They should be able to just take all 4 of them and freaking tie them to a chair and beat the heck out of them, waterboard them, use whatever tactics they have to. We know it was all of you, one of you, most of you, whatever combination. We know. And waterboarding should be legal.
That's where this is at. At this point, they can go ahead
and let her talk for a minute. Just pause for just a second, please. Thank you, Stacy.
What were you doing before you left?
Before I went to CUNA, I had taken a couple taxi rides that day. Specifically, I got woken up by Sarah at like 11 or 11:30 in the morning with a phone call saying a taxi ride needed to be picked up in Ontario and taken to Boise to the airport. And after dropping this person off at the airport, as I was headed home, I get another phone call from Sarah saying that a taxi ride needed to go from Ontario to the A&W.
Which A&W?
The one in Payette.
Why did you say the one in Ontario?
I said he needed to be picked up in Ontario and taken to the A&W.
I'm sure there's many creators that have that clip of this statement. I mean, stating that you didn't go to the one in the art or the
that you went to the one in Ontario.
I already sent my GPS photos.
Mm-hmm.
I sent my GPS photos because I had specifically gone to the pharmacy right after I had dropped this person off at the A&W, and I went to the pharmacy at the Albertsons in Payette to go pick up Sarah's prescription because she had just had tooth surgery. I specifically remember.
I need to go back and find Crime Sleuthen's video because she put together like all of his GPS and stuff like that. And if anything, it like proved more guilt towards Stacy and them, not less. I got to go back and find it. I got to figure out where the video is. Yeah, he does. He makes me want to throw things too.
Remember picking a prescription because it was the oxycodones or whatever it was, hydrocodones for pain.
That was all on the 27th.
The what?
That was on the 27th of July,
Yes.
2021.
And I specifically know that it was that because I have pictures and GPS that I've already submitted that state the date and time that I'm outside the brick building, the brick side of Albertsons, in the Lexus, outside the pharmacy on that day, at 3:30 p.m. to be exact.
Did Sarah hide Michael from you so you wouldn't give him back?
No, Sarah would never do that. Nothing like that would go on at our house. You need to keep in mind, I'm very keen and very aware of what happens around our house. And there would be no time frame for when something like this would be allowed or had enough time for something like that to happen.
Well, you were incarcerated when you gave the tip, and then Adrian wasn't around, so that only leaves 2 people, which would be Sarah or Brandon, that could have possibly moved Michael if he was actually in the yard.
No, because Sarah was also incarcerated, but she'd only gotten out for a period of like 3 months on pretrial release. and then got violated for violating her pre-trial release, and that's when they came and searched the search warrant to the house and hit her with the failure to report the death.
The phone that you showed put you in the park.
The what?
The phone that you showed put you in the park. Kiwanis Park.
Correct. That was where I picked the client up for the taxi. And I'd taken him to Payette to the A&W where they wanted to go.
And you don't think that that looks suspicious that you're at 2 splash pads that day? But Michael was missing.
No, I don't, because I wasn't at the splash pad. I went to the apartment complex right across the street from the splash pad. If you look on Google Maps, there's an apartment complex that's right across the street from there. It has a pond that's literally right inside that park. It's right across from the park.
Do you have records of your taxi drives for that day?
No, that was most of the taxi customers either paid with cash or card. And that day, I went through all of my Square payments because that's what we used for credit card processing. And we didn't take any credit card payments. That was a cash deposit. And it was a $150 ride when I picked the person up from Ontario to Boise. That was a $150 ride one way. And the Ontario one was a $25 ride.
Apartment complex next to the splash pad in Payette?
No, Kiwanis Park is in Ontario. The splash pad is there's a park in Payette, but we weren't near the park. I had dropped him off at the A&W. I don't have anything else to give you other than what I've said. I wish I could magically make it happen, Brandi.
Did you tell
You what?
Did you tell your mom that Michael was dead?
No, I never said Michael was dead. My mom had asked if he was still alive or what happened. I said, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I can't answer something or confirm something if I don't have an answer.
Your phone showed you being at the Payette Park, not the Kiwanis Park. So
yes, I picked up the person in Ontario at the Kiwanis Park, or the apartment complex right next to it, and I took that person from the apartment complex to the A&W in Payette, which I believe is like within walking distance for Albertsons. And I went from there directly to Albertsons to go pick up the prescription for Sarah. And I think I picked up a prescription for my Prilosec or some shit like that. I don't know. So long ago. I don't like. I'm trying to give everything I can to the best of my abilities.
Well, your phone showed that you were in the park in Payette.
I don't know what to tell you.
So
I'm giving everything that I can. I've given everything I can.
That was you.
Okay, correct.
So you never
show me where. Show me where my GPS history shows that I was in that park, because I wasn't. I had gone by the park to go to A&W to drop him off.
At the beginning of this interview, he said, I know the police have us on camera by the park or whatever. They showed us the footage. They showed me the footage. And now he's like, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Come on, dude. Who do you think you're kidding?
Behind A&W, you'd have to 4x it to go directly across to the park from the back of the A&W, because it's right across the street from the Albertsons. And there's a yield there because it's two roads.
I know exactly what it is.
So that doesn't make any sense. So you were next to the skate park, is what I was told. That's where you're
at the park. And until you can show.
You showed it.
I know. I showed that I was at the Albertsons at 3:30 p.m. exactly like I said.
It showed you next to the skate park in Payette.
Correct, and the skate park is right next to the A&W.
It's across the street and across the park.
Correct. I don't have anything else to give you, Brandi. I would have turned that shit in had I been given some sort of light to it. I don't hide stuff like that, Brandi, and I don't think you understand.
So why were you there?
I couldn't live with myself if I knew something about it.
When you went to the splash pad in Payette, you didn't stay there, you just dropped him off and went and got the prescription and left?
Correct. Dropped him off at the A&W, got the prescription. Say it again?
And that was 3:30?
Correct.
So
if you guys reach out to Eve, I have sent her all of the GPS location. I showed pictures.
I thought it was Crime Sleuthin'. Maybe it was True Crime with Eve and Crime Sleuthin'. Now I need to go back and look. Could be both. Could be both. True Crime with Eve and Crime Sleuthin'. I need to go look.
Of where I was at 3:30 p.m. And it specifically shows me in the Lexus outside of the pharmacy waiting in the car.
I saw that picture.
Correct.
Right. And what time was it again? When you got that
3:30
call?
p.m. When Sarah called me, I don't know. I was on my way back. I think I was maybe 20 minutes out from Fruitland, so 23 minutes estimated. So whatever. I went and picked him up. I think about 3. So somewhere between 2:30 and maybe 2:50. I don't know. I don't have an exact time frame for you.
Okay. Well, you had showed it, I believe, and you showed it on Eve's as well, and it showed pinning you at the park. And if I guess if you're not living directly
The
here,
splash pad in Fruitland at 1:30 p.m.
So 1:30 to 3, you were doing a taxi
No,
ride?
no, yes, correct. It takes an hour to get to Boise,
Okay. Yeah.
an hour to get back, which would put me exactly around the time frame of picking up the person in Ontario, like I said. And if you look at the time frame, the GPS location that I texted you, or texted and posted on.
So you knew all of this that happened. So what exactly happened at 6:30 then?
We were gone, like it says, like I've told the same exact thing. We were not home at 6:30, Brandi.
Camera leaving the neighborhood.
You what?
When were you seen on CVT camera leaving the neighborhood?
5:30 p.m.
Well, Sarah's mom had said that you told her you were searching for a lost child before going to CUNA.
That is not true, nor is it anywhere accurate.
That's what her mother said.
Okay, well, then her mother needs to get her facts straight because that was never the case. And I remember specifically Sarah telling her mother before we left, because she communicates with her all the time, and telling her mom that we were going over to CUNA to go tow Brandon's vehicle back. It wasn't until when we got back that night that the neighborhood was swarming with people. And we had asked what was going on. And then they had told us, and we're like, what the heck?
So you're saying she's mistaken at the time frame of when you told her that you were looking? It wasn't at 7 p.m., 7:08 p.m.
Say it again.
At 7:08 p.m., you didn't. Sarah had told her mom that you were searching for a lost child. I saw
No,
the
that
I saw
never
the
even.
photo.
The what?
I saw the photo. Screenshot
Photo of what?
at 7:08 p.m. of
You
Sarah.
want to send me a screenshot? Because apparently I'm unaware of this. I was never searching for anybody. We were gone, and GPS data shows that we were gone. We were not even home around that time.
But you said you were putting in power steering fluid at 6:48 p.m.
No, 5:30 p.m. How else would CCTV video footage record us? At 5:30 p.m. on 8th Street, parked off to the side. Like, you guys know, like, I've already seen all of the CCTV video footage from the detectives directly.
Uh-huh.
So, like, you're not going to, like, trick me into knowing what I already know and what I've seen from law enforcement.
I'm not trying to trick you. I want the answers. I want my son.
I've given you the answers, and I know you want your son. And if I could give you your son, I'd fucking do it.
I believe
Whoa,
But don't try to tell me that my information's on
Watch your
accurate.
mouth, officer. Come on now.
Okay, well,
I'm
don't
not
try
gonna
to tell me that my
tolerate-
information. Okay, well, I'm not going to tolerate being criticized and
If you're
ridiculed.
gonna
But I'm
disrespect
giving my.
Brandy, though,
I'm not
that's-
disrespecting her.
You
Well,
did.
7:08 is the
Okay, but I'm not going to tolerate being disrespected as well and being ridiculed and criticized when I'm telling you that I know exactly where I was at 5:30 p.m. along with Brandon and Sarah, because we were all in the truck.
And
I asked you to stay respectful, so just
Adrian
stay
and-
respectful, please.
Adrian was at the house. That's right. And according,
At 5:30 p.m., I was shown by law enforcement when they started questioning me specific video CCTV footage. Exactly like I said. Of being outside, getting out of the truck, Sarah was driving, I was in the passenger side, and Brandon was in the back seat. And I had Sarah pull off at 5:30 p.m. This is verbatim from CCTV video footage from the police department.
Were you at the house when Adrian came back from Applebee's?
No. Sarah had gotten back with Brandon and Sarah and Adrian had gotten back. Right
I
after,
saw
before
the
I
red
got back from the
truck
house.
and you guys leaving at 7:08 p.m.
No. GPS data shows differently. And I've already turned that in too. And law enforcement showed me video footage. They don't just adjust time frames at 5:30 p.m. exactly like I have said.
The timestamp was 7:08.
No, it wasn't. I've seen the
Oh,
facts.
nice. Are you telling me I'm a liar?
I'm telling you, information gets modified.
You're
I'm telling you what I've.
the FBI modified that to the mother of a missing child. They're going to waste those resources to protect
Okay, well then explain this, Brandi.
suspects to me.
It's 3.5. It's 3.5 years.
They showed me too.
Okay, cool. And guess what? It's 3.5 years. They quote unquote said they have such solid concrete evidence, right? Yeah. Solid concrete evidence that it's 3.5 years later and there's still no charges. You wonder why? Because they don't got
Because
anything, Brandi. Figure it out. Do them. No, they don't. Really?
Out, and I know
Really?
you're lying, Stacy. And
Really?
you know what?
Am I?
I would forgive you if you would tell me the truth about Sarah.
I don't have anything to fucking give you. I don't have anything to give you. And if I had something to give you, I would.
They showed me too. I seen the photos. I saw your confession, Stacy. I seen everything. And you know what? And I've seen it. What you did all over the internet, I have seen it. And you continue to lie. You know, there was one time that I said I could forgive someone as long as Michael came home to me safely.
And if I had something to give you, Brandi, I would.
I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead. Okay, and don't give up. I don't want you to give up. As a mother, you shouldn't give up. And if I had something else to give you, I would.
I believe you do.
Okay, and I believe I know I don't. So there's two different sides there. I'm sorry that you still obviously think that I'm a liar and this fucking horrible person.
I caught you.
It's a prerogative. It's a prerogative.
You're
Guess what? It's a prerogative. And you're entitled to feel any way you want. But don't think for once. You're right, you are. But if I had something else to give you, I would. I don't just somehow pass a lie detector test or a polygraph test specifically relating.
Because you're lying about your polygraph test.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Because that's why the person, Matt, that did the specific polygraph told me specifically that I told the truth. So you want to prove to me where I lied on the polygraph? Do you want to show me a screenshot? Because I guarantee you can't prove that either. You're going off of speculation. There's no reason.
No, I'm talking about your lawyer. Your lawyer.
My lawyer? Oh, do you think that's a lie? Because that's not.
No, I know it's not a lie.
No, it's not a lie. Because it's not. And it's not fake.
I didn't say it was a lie.
And it's not fake. I never said I was going after the law
I
enforcement.
even invited you and Brandon and both of you and your lawyers, and you can come speak with me. We can be there. You can bring, whoever you'd like. I don't have a lawyer, so but we can gladly bring any of these lawyers in, and we can all sit down and have a conversation. Because I'd like to know why Brandon says you're lying and you say Brandon's lying.
Really? Because Brandon didn't say that I'm lying, and actually I listened to his statement that Brandon, from his lawyer specifically, that Brandon's lawyer was retained to represent Brandon should he ever get charged. I heard exactly the whole statement from his lawyer and what Brandon told. And Brandon's statement confirms everything that Sarah and I told. So
Ted
show
Bundy
me.
passed his polygraph test, right?
Hmm?
Ted Bundy passed his polygraph test, right?
Yep.
Just saying.
Did you
So why were
see
you
the
at work?
last
What was
interview?
the plan? What was the plan, Stacy?
For
were you
what?
for the abduction of Michael?
I wasn't involved in it, Brandi. And there's nothing you're going to do that's
Why
going
did
to
you tell Stacy
convince
that
me
you were
otherwise.
Stacy? Why did you tell law enforcement that you knew?
I didn't say that I knew. I wanted to get them off my back. And maybe if you did a little studying and research on what fetal alcohol syndrome is, and maybe if you had it and you got put in a pressure point situation, you do the same fucking thing.
I do have a slight medical background, and I do, and I'm quite aware
Okay.
of fetal.
Then you'll understand that being put
am
in a very
understanding.
pressure pointed situation,
Yes,
in a
that's why
very
I'm trying to
pressure
talk about
situation,
the
you would do
truth
everything you can
so
to
I
fight or
get the
fight.
truth from you without you being an explosive asshole.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Past history. Past history.
Past history.
Yeah, years ago, Brandi, that I've done 13 years in freaking group homes to overcome that.
You
So
care
explain
about
that,
getting
but
away
I'm
with
such a
this.
horrible
That's all you
person,
care about.
Brandi.
You care about
I'm
getting
sorry.
away
I'm sorry. This is over.
because you can't tell me the truth. You can't.
I don't have truth to tell you.
You do.
I don't.
You know where Michael is.
No,
well,
I don't.
You did know. You did.
No,
know
I
where
don't,
Michael is.
Brandi.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't.
You
No, I
told law
don't.
enforcement.
No.
Let's let Brandi talk, please.
So
Go ahead, Brandi.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brandi. Guess what? They can bring charges because guess what? And they can
They're
hold me
fine.
at a fucking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bring charges and it's going to get fought in court because they don't
you
have
have
shit.
knowledge of.
Consider. No, I don't. And consider this your guys' warning. Continue slander. Nope.
I'm not slandering you.
Continue slander.
You said you would answer anything, Stacy. You said you're an
Correct.
open
And
book, and you're not being an open book to me. You're getting angry with me and you're not answering
No.
questions.
No, I've answered everything that you need, Brandi. I've answered everything. You still want to accuse me. You still want to do this and do that. Guess what?
I
Go
want
ahead.
to know why
Go
you're
ahead.
lying.
I'm not lying.
You have
I want to know why you think.
okay? You have control issues.
No, I don't
You
have
have
control
imposter.
issues.
Yeah.
I have issues with people slandering me and defaming me and
It's like
thinking that they have and thinking that they're hot shit and thinking that they know it all. This conversation is done. Y'all have a good night.
Obviously, he's still gonna listen.
He is still gonna listen. I am so sorry. I didn't want to kick him down when he was being disrespectful because I knew you still had questions and stuff to ask. So I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry that I didn't add anybody up because I just wanted you to be able to talk to him.
He's
So
acting the frontal lobe issues. He's acting without thinking and through, and that's yes, I do understand, Stacy. So I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. They need to start telling the truth. They need to quit lying. I'm over it.
I'm just there's so much to unpack there. So much. So as far as this goes, scared of Brandon as in what Brandon can tell on him or scared of him in general? I think that he thought that he was going to be able to make that deal and get himself out of prison, that they were going to find Michael in the yard, and that Brandon and Sarah and possibly Adrian would have been locked up in jail, and he would have been out on some type of deal for giving up the information, right? He wanted papers signed so that he could have a cushy life in prison or something, I don't know. And then I think whenever they didn't find Michael, at that point, he came out and started denying that he had any involvements, denying that Brandon and Sarah were involved, denying all of it left and right, and just pinning it on just Adrian. Like he's constantly in this interview. Well, Adrian was the one who wasn't with us, and he's the one who was alone, and he's the one who was the trafficker, and he's the one who was this, and he's the one with the get rich quick schemes, and like he's pinning it somewhere that he feels is safe. I think if anybody came forward after seeing that video and these videos, that it probably was Adrian coming forward and giving more information to the police. I don't picture it being Brandon, um, just simply because I think that Stacy is scared of what Brandon could say as far as his involvement, but also I think that he is afraid of Brandon as a person as well. I think it's both. I think that I think that he probably knows that Brandon has bad sides to him that could cause very great harm to him, or is connected to people that could cause very great harm to him, and that's why he started trying to cover things up. Um, and that's why he started to change his story, and that's why he started to backtrack on what he told police because crap, Brandon's out free. Sarah's out free. Well, actually, she was still locked up, but Brandon's out free. I mean, we seen him in a hot tub drinking beer doing an interview with JLR. And I think that terrified Stacy that he was in a situation where now his life could potentially be at risk, or what Brandon knows about his life could potentially put him at risk. He wasn't expecting him to not be in jail. And so that leads me to think that Brandon is likely who moved Michael. I think Michael was buried in the yard. I think that Brandon moved his remains to God only knows where and disposed of him. And I'm not sure that Sarah knows. I don't know if she knows where Brandon put him. I think they were all involved in the crime itself and what happened. But I think there's a good chance that while Sarah was locked up and Brandon was there alone because Stacy was also locked up, that he knew that they knew and was worried about them doing some type of deal or exactly what Stacy tried to do. He knew that Stacy would sacrifice all of them with the information being able to be said that Michael was in the backyard and that police would be able to go and then they would all be arrested. And he knew that Stacy was that type of selfish childish person to give him up and not keep the secret. And so I think that he went on his own and moved Michael's remains so that he could not get implicated in the crime that they all committed. I really think that that's how things played out. I think he was getting very frustrated throughout this entire process because Brandi knows that he was involved. She knew. I don't think he realized at that point that Brandi had seen the police body camera footage. She knew exactly what he had told to law enforcement. And she came in armed with questions based off of every inconsistency that he said in every single one of his interviews. And she was tripping him up left and right. That's why he got so disrespectful. That's why he got heated. That's why he asked if they were her questions or law enforcement's, because she pulled his card. She knew exactly who he was. And I'm glad that he's back in jail. I don't care if it's just for a parole violation. He needs to stay there for all of eternity, and they need to get these charges brought soon.
It takes a really sick and evil person to sit there and swear on their life when
Right.
they've come up here to many different creators, not only behind the scenes talking to them or trying to extort people for money. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We are not giving up the fight for Michael. We will not give up for Michael. And go ahead, because I've seen what you're lying about, Stacy, with my own eyes, and you're not going to tell me the FBI and Idaho State Police, the Fruitland Police Department, the Fayette County Sheriff's Department, NECMEC, you're going to tell me they're all going to lie to me and stick up for you? I'm done with your games. My son is not a game. Michael Joseph Vaughan has been abducted, and 4 named suspects, Stacy Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shirtlift, and possibly more that have involvement and know where Michael is. And I'm coming for you, every single one of you, and I will not give up. And I'm not going to be quiet and Miss Nicey anymore. Michael is my son. He is missed. He is loved. I am tired of my family being tortured every day, Stacy. Every day. And I am going to find Michael, and I'm going to get justice for him, and I'm going to prove to the world what a horrible, evil liar you are.
And we're all going to be right here to help you prove it, Mama.
Sorry, I lost my cool. I tried to keep my cool the best I could, y'all.
No, you were fine. You could have said anything you wanted to. I was waiting for you to tell him off. I just could not handle the way he was talking to you. It was pissing me off, and I didn't want to kick him down if you had more questions, and I didn't want to run him off.
Oh,
I can't believe she's apologizing for getting upset. She was like level 2, maybe level 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. She held her composure so good. Brandi, if you ever see this, you are so strong. I don't know how the heck you did it as long as you did, and then you still didn't lay into him nowhere near. Like, you kept him on that panel, asked your questions, and did so amazing for almost 2 full hours of just back and forth trash from him. I don't know how you did it, and you did good. You did so good, mama. You did so good.
Proud of you. I think you did a great job.
Obviously, he can't. You lied to me, Stacy. You just lied right then and there. You would do anything to help me find my son. You know the information that Brandon and Sarah have, and you won't give it up. Why are you protecting them? Stop protecting them. Stop it. Sarah doesn't give a damn what happens to you. She's an evil person. She has an evil soul. She ain't no good Christian. No Christian would want to take an innocent life. Even to take an innocent life away from the love that they've known to appease their selfishness. And that's what they are. They're selfish, evil monsters. I'm going to.
It's all right. If you need to go, if you need to rest, you're perfectly fine. If you want to sit and talk more, it's perfectly fine. I don't want you to get too
Tyler
tired.
was going to fucking have a heart attack when he walked in the door.
Oh, God. I am so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry.
He got walking in the door. Oh, my God. The look on his face. Holy. I love everybody so much that is here for Michael. Please, please, please keep sharing his picture, everybody. Michael is still missing. We don't have answers. And these 4 suspects, they know more than they're stating. they have knowledge, and they're going to trip up over their lies.
Hell yeah, they are. Something triggered him tonight, so we're on to something.
Well, there's people talking. So, please, everyone, please keep sharing Michael's picture. If you have a tip, please call it in to find Michael at fruitland.org. The other one,
the Fruitland tip line phone number is 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. This is Michael Vaughan's mom, and she is begging you to call in a tip. No tip is too small. Please, please call in anything or email to findmichael@fruitland.org.
He wouldn't even tell me what my son was doing.
You were begging, and
he didn't even tell me what my son.
He just kept acting like the victim.
Yeah, poor Stacy. Poor Stacy. Stacy, where's Michael? Did you want to give him back to me? When I said I would forgive if you just bring Michael back, I could have him back. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about anything else. Couldn't even. You're a coward. You're all cowards. It's all right.
Brandi, you're so strong, and we all love you so much. Everybody in chat is rooting for you, and we just want you to find the peace that
Please, everybody, share this out. Share him out. Share. I'd like to talk to Brandon. I want to know why the stories are so different. I want to know. I want to know where Michael is. I want to know why they're covering up for each other. Who are they covering up for? Who else? Who else knows? Are they afraid? Are they afraid that even in prison, they're not going to get away from whatever they're scared of? Whatever they know, whatever they did. I'm gonna go talk to Tyler. I gotta rest. Everybody's telling me to rest.
Yep, you do need to rest, love. I'm just letting you talk until you were ready to go. We love you, honey. I'm so sorry you didn't get any answers, and I hope and pray that
I got some answers. I know how much of a liar he is. And you did right to my face, and I want everybody to see the proof of it. The proof that he is a bold-faced liar.
Well, I hope and pray that he thinks about it.
I hope he does too.
And does something. I really do.
Love
Get some rest, honey. We love you.
Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. And if I don't talk to anybody, have a great holiday. I'll keep you all updated on the other stuff and all the wonderful gifts that everybody sent for the kids. And Sam, the lovely letter from your daughter and our gifts. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome, love.
So everybody, Brooks, Crime Lines and Lies, Purple Night. Oh, that's the old one. Purple Phoenix, all of the subscribers, everybody that can. I know I'm not Dolly Vision with a PJ. Everybody that's continuing to share Michael's story, keeping, a lot of you do it behind the scenes as well, just to say hi and check on the family. Thank you, and please don't give up. We're not giving up. I got a fire under me. I'm gonna get Michael. We are gonna get Michael home.
Yes, we are.
And anytime they want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. I'm ready. Let's do this. I want my son home, and I'm tired of your games. So I love you, Miss Sam. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Now here is the full video if anybody wants to go over and watch it without me talking in between. It is here. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and all the things over there as well. Before we sign off, because we are also going to go to bed, I do want to share this again. This is the meal train. It is pinned at the top of the chat. If anybody is interested in helping out the family at all with everything that they're going through right now, Brandi does also, does have a life-threatening illness. She is awaiting a liver transplant right now, and so this is towards helping for if in the event that the liver transplant comes, to help them while she is down recovering from her surgery and things like that. Also funds to get back and forth to see her in the hospital in the event that that happens, as well as just taking the load off a couple days a week from this mom while she's out here fighting this battle, trying to get justice for Michael, as well as deal with this illness that she has. So this is the link for this meal train. Again, if you cannot help at all with this financially, please pray, 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 pray. You guys, please pray for this family. Pray for this family. And I'm going to say this, pray for the suspects. Pray for the people who are surrounding this case, that they cannot sleep. They cannot do anything without seeing his face, without being tortured by every piece of this story until they have to confess what happened, until they have to tell the truth. Pray that God will just put this in their face over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if there is people outside of these four, pray that they come forward. Somebody has to speak up so that justice can be gotten and so that Michael can be found. Period. 307 Miss Troy. I think that that was one of the stories. I don't think that that's what happened at this point. I don't think that that's what happened at this point. Not whenever they're talking about trafficking and registered sex offenders and all of this other stuff that really triggered him throughout this interview. I really do think that there is so much more to it than that. And that's where we are. But I am going to jump off Red Rock. I totally will. Um, my brain is like asleep. It's been a very late night, but yeah, I can say a prayer real quick. Dear Father, thank you so much for giving us the ability, Lord, to share Michael's face and to bring us all together in this whole entire community throughout YouTube, throughout Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere that his story is being shared, dear Lord, and give us the ability to share his face and search for these answers that we are so desperately looking for. Please shine a light, Lord, onto where Michael is and strengthen this family as they continue their search and continue to desperately look for these answers, dear Lord, and be with Brandi. Put your hands on her and help to keep her going and strengthen her and help there be some type of resolution to her illness, Lord. I pray that she's able to find the liver that she needs and that she can get stronger and celebrate whenever this justice is served. Thank you, dear Lord, for continuing to put your hands upon everyone who is involved with this case, whether it's through the police department, the family, the online people, everyone, dear Lord, touch our lives and help us to get stronger for you and for Michael. Help us to find him. Help him to come home. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. That's it, you guys. I'm going to bed. I will see you all tomorrow. We have so much more to go over and to look through just to refresh. I mean, there's so much that we have seen in his story that seems so distant in the past. This is 1,278 days. And this is one of those cases that we've covered it. We've gone through it every time that there's like a new police update or a new press conference or new information. And then because we cover so many other cases and other stories, it just kind of keeps getting lost in the shuffle. There's not much drama that you can add to this. This this case is very cut and dry. And I think that that's why it's so hard for people to cover it day after day after day, but there are people who are. There are channels who have been for weeks, for months, sharing his story day after day after day because he is out there somewhere and he needs to be found. And these these criminals, they need to come forward and say what happened. So, all right, I am going to bed. I have church in the morning, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.